Even though the students are on break, plenty of them here, 10,000 strong, as they take on the top 10 Marquette Golden Eagles. Marquette has won the last 4 in this series. 87th all-time meeting. Let's take a look at the starting lineup, sponsored by Jeep. There's only one Marquette experience. 3 seniors, 2 juniors in the lineup. For Xavier, it is also a very experienced group, but a lot of transfers for Sean Miller and the Musketeers. But Shaka Smart guided his team to a 2 seed in the last 2 NCAA tournaments. He's got a team that is tracking towards another successful season here in 24-25. And then Sean Miller, his group has lost 4 of 6, but such an experienced head coach, and he feels like he's got the pieces to get this thing back on the right track. Brian O'Connell, Tony Chiazza, and Tim Clockerty, the officials. A Saturday of Fox College hoops, and off we go, starting it off with Marquette and Xavier.
With Zach Fremantle out, Xavier is going to have to really rebound the basketball. All 5 on the floor. Marquette coming off a game against Butler with 20 offensive rebounds, and you got to keep this guy out of the paint. Cam Jones leads the conference in points in the paint.
He is the guy to watch offensively for Marquette, but he misses there. And Xavier, this is a team, Rob, that they can really fill it up from deep.
Well, and these guards are going to feel empowered. You've got Ryan Conwell, you've got Marcus Foster, you've got multiple guys that can score. And Jerome Hunter, he's been much better over the last 5 games. Missed last season, settling in. They throw him the ball inside, loves to get to that right hand.
One of those veterans, Hunter, a 7th-year senior. Here's Joplin, he's short from deep. You feel like this is just a big game for Xavier to kind of right the ship, and they don't really have a marquee win on their resume.
Certainly, and Marquette would be that marquee win. Tough losses to Michigan, TCU, Cincinnati, and UConn. They've been right there, but they really need this one.
Good spark early, all 4 points by Jerome Hunter. A guy in Jerome Hunter, folks, that will turn 25 tomorrow. He has been around the college game a long time. Marquette 10-2. They, on the other hand, unlike Xavier, had a couple of really big wins on their resume, looking to add to it here today. Cam Jones, little running hook off the mark.
Good defense there by Dalen Swain. Didn't let him get turned down on the ball screen, and then really contained the bounce.
What a game it was, though, Wednesday at UConn for Xavier, losing an OT and a track meet 94-89. And I think we're going to see a lot of points here today. Hunter's been the guy so far. Joplin got a hand on it. Watch the shot clock here. Take it away. 2-on-1. Ross up with the left to throw it down.
That's what Marquette does. They will turn you over. Great job. David Joplin just going and double teaming. You get a hand grenade pass, and it's off to the races for Chase Ross.
Backdoor cut inside. McKnight spinning, keeping the pivot foot and finishing.
And I think Davion McKnight, Brandon, has to be a guy that's just more consistent with his scoring. Now that Fremantle out for the foreseeable future, good sign to see Davion McKnight get it going early.
And Zach Fremantle, such a big loss for them. He is the senior captain, the leader, but out with that knee injury.
Well, you hate to see it for him, Brandon, because he's just been through so much. Both him and Jerome Hunter, the injuries, it just has been a continuous onslaught for those guys. Just hope that he can come back and play again this year.
Foster misses the 3 there. Oh, taken away, though, Swain. And he left it short. No official word on Fremantle as far as the length of the injury. Right now, as Robbie said, they're just saying an indefinite absence. It's certainly a big miss. Gold, not missing. 3-pointer from the wing.
Well, if you're Marcus Foster and you're going to go dig that out from the strong side, you better get it. He just leaves Ben Gold, and Gold over the last 8 shooting 43% from 3.
Almost taken away, and it is by Joplin. 2-on-2, Euro step. Batted around, and Xavier will clear it.
Boy, pretty well done by Ryan Conwell, just getting in there and not giving up an angle.
But Marquette, you're seeing it early. It is the identification of a Shaka Smart team. They will pressure you. They will turn you over.
No question about it. It's in the DNA of this program. They get into the basketball. They'll deny. They'll sometimes hard hedge. And you know what they're always going to do? They always compete.
Jones, over 20 points a game. And that one didn't drop, but he will get to the line.
That's the Cam Jones special right there. Take your right, spin back to the left.
So crafty, early going, and a good one in the Big East between Marquette and Xavier. Musketeers by a penny. So here's the comparison so far this year. Marquette started 8-0. Xavier started good. They just didn't have any big marquee wins. They did get in the top 25, but since then 2-4. And as we talked about, Zach Freemantle, who averages 17 points, almost 8 rebounds a game, he's out with that knee injury. And as we were saying, Rob, really no timetable. But at some point, you hope that he can come back.
Well, and the awful thing about this, he's playing some of the best basketball of his career. He's gotten himself into phenomenal shape. The numbers speak for themselves. 5th in the conference in scoring, 4th in rebounds. And this dude deserves to have a healthy season. So you hate to see it for him. And for Xavier, you mentioned the 4 losses. Pretty good competition. No shame in losing to Michigan. The UConn game, they were right there. Cincinnati, they're right there. TCU, same thing. And for Marquette, you lose on the road at Iowa State and Dayton. There's no shame in that. Both those teams, really good ball clubs.
And then you look at the 3 big wins in the non-conference for Marquette that's really going to help them come Selection Sunday. They won at Maryland, they beat Purdue, and they beat Wisconsin.
That Maryland win is only going to get better. Going into that building and beating that team is going to come Selection Sunday. That will be a terrific win.
They've got a terrific player in Cam Jones, one of the best in the country. He ties us up at 6, and here's that full-court press. Davion McKnight able to beat it, kick it out. That's an open 3, but in and out for Maddox.
Good job by Davion McKnight just taking on that press. He got Dante Maddox a wide open look.
That's the thing with that Marquette pressure. Xavier has the guards to beat.
They certainly do. But that doesn't mean teams can lose their minds. Still have to be locked into taking care of the basketball.
Really good defense. That's Jerome Hunter, who's been doing it on both ends so far. Maddox again. This time he'll give it up to Swain. And Swain buries the triple.
A big shot for Dalen Swain. Was just 1 of 6 from 3 on the season. I thought Maddox should have let it fly because he's the better 3-point shooter. But Dalen Swain finding one to go.
Yeah, he leads the team in steals, but he has struggled to shoot it from deep, as you said. A big one there.
He was making shots from the perimeter. Look out. He could be a very, very good player.
Here's Cam Jones. Giving it up to Gold. NBA range. A little short. And it's Maddox with a rebound. Dante Maddox he had a breakout game at UConn. 22 points.
I have to think that type of performance is going to give him a lot of confidence going forward.
They said we were waiting for him to break out, and that was the game that he did it. Conwell, a little wild to the rim. Knocked out, it'll stay here. No, they'll say the other way.
Well, I thought that was off the foot of a Marquette player.
Changing the call, so it will be with Marquette.
They got Hunter flying in. Well, that was off the knee of Royce Parham.
A break for the Golden Eagles. Sean Miller, 3rd year in his 2nd stint at Xavier. Of course, 12 years at Arizona, but doing it at a high level for a long time. Inside, up with a right hand, the freshman Owens off the mark. Knocked out in this one will belong to Xavier.
I like Marquette's freshmen, though. You start looking towards the future for next year, years beyond. And I think with both Parham and Demarius Owens, high school teammates, there's a lot to like about both those guys.
And Shaka, he doesn't mind at all putting them on the floor at the same time. They're out there now, number 10 and 13 together. Foster, open look, and he knocks it down.
Ben Gold on that hard hedge. He has got to do a better job with the ball handler of impeding his progress. You let McKnight get around on that, it's going to be a long day, especially with the way Xavier can shoot the ball.
A 41% 3-point shooting team. That is a really high number in college basketball. Gold with a jump skip pass to Owens. And there is one of those freshmen, Demarius Owens.
11 points at Iowa State, 14 against Stonehill. But the thing about Demarius Owens I like, and same with Royce Parham, these dudes are not afraid, and they're not afraid to insert themselves in big-time atmosphere. Saw it at Iowa State.
Shaka Smart said Owens is not phased. He's the top recruit in the Shaka Smart era at Marquette. Working it around, Swain, step back, or rather Conwell, and he's a little long with a three-point try.
Gotta know where Conwell is on the three-point line. 10 of his 12 games this year, he's made 3 threes or more.
There's a blow by. Jones trying to reverse it.
He could have just laid it up with the right.
I thought the same thing, Robbie. Almost a turnover, saved by McKnight.
Ben Gold moving his feet. Ryan Conwell, tough guard.
They got him trapped. He lost it. Out of bounds. And it belongs to Marquette.
And that's the thing when you play the Golden Eagles. At any time they want to run and jump, they have the freedom to go and do that. Ben Gold containing the bounce. You get Demarius Owens coming over. Now you got a full-on trap in the corner. Nowhere to go for Ryan Conwell. Great defensive possession for Marquette.
And it's not just that they turn you over. Marquette does not turn the ball over themselves.
Yeah,
the turnover margin's unbelievable.
Totally. Shaka Smart has done a terrific job of just implementing a culture and just a certain identity of the way he wants his teams to play. And whenever you play Marquette, you know it's going to be a challenge in terms of taking care of the basketball.
He played his college basketball in this state, Kenyon College, D3 in Ohio. Still the school's all-time assist leader is Shaka Smart. Driving inside, Parham got bumped, and that'll be a foul at the 12:04 mark.
The thing I love about Royce Parham is that when he's in the game, these things are going up. It's just his aggressiveness. You look at even his field goal attempts, 72 on the season. That leads all bench players from Marquette by a wide margin. The next closest is Demarius Owens at 27. But man, you're John Hughley. You better understand, this dude is looking to score the rock.
Usually with freshmen on an experienced team, that's not the case. He's not shy. There's Stevie Mitchell, one of the experienced seniors for the Golden Eagles.
Just a great understanding with a smaller defender on him than Davion McKnight. He can just use some physicality and go right over the top.
A little 5-0 run here for Marquette. Wide open look. Foster no good. Rebound. And it's Mitchell.
Marquette a little bit fortunate there. That's where Marcus Foster has really done his work this year. 47% from 3 on the season.
And that's where they score with the guards. There's really not much interior pressure.
Yeah, especially with Fremantle out.
Joplin.
Push it back.
It is. So that's on the freshman Owens, and it will send us to immediate timeout. Xavier by 1. Let's go inside their huddle with Sean Miller.
We got to get second shots, fellas. We got to get second shots. I'm telling you, we're creating some good threes. Shoot the ball. Knock them in, okay?
You have to assume with no Zach Fremantle for the foreseeable future, Xavier, a team that shoots a great percentage, not a crazy volume though. 8th in the Big East, 208th in college basketball in attempts per game from beyond the three-point line. I'd have to assume that number is going to go up. With no interior presence in Fremantle, it's going to be McKnight, Foster, Conwell, Dante Maddox. These guys are going to be looking for the perimeter. And certainly when you're talking about offensive rebounding, Xavier not a great offensive rebounding team, but these guards can fly in there. They're going to have to steal some second chances.
And a lot was expected of Xavier. They were picked 3rd in the Big East preseason behind UConn and Creighton. Marquette was actually picked 4th because they had such good portal additions.
No doubt. And I mean, look at Ryan Conwell is one of the probably top portal guys you could have gone out and gotten for your team from Indiana State. Dante Maddox, big scorer. Certainly the injury to Traore and just the injuries they've had in general have kind of tempered those expectations.
That guy was a pretty good pickup as well from Toledo. Dante Maddox, he can fill it up from deep.
Yes, he can really score the ball. They're going to need him to be a scorer now.
Parham, you talked about him getting his shots up, but he can knock him down.
Boy, that little fake dribble handoff there. You back off like Hughley did. He is going to get that thing up.
Xavier doesn't have any freshmen, but with Marquette, you get Parham, you get Owens, very capable guys out there.
These dribble handoffs. Marquette has kept that on the perimeter until that Maddox drive. Xavier going to have to find a way to get some dribble penetration against Marquette. Dante Maddox coming off here and just a little bit behind for Demarius Owens. They're in that drop. If you're behind, that three-pointer is going to be there. Dante Maddox very capable. And there's the Parham three. You see Hughley just back off, worried about the handoff, and Royce Parham saying, thank you very much.
Shaka Smart called Parham one of the best natural scorers I've ever recruited. He said he's going to score a lot of points in a Marquette jersey before it's all said and done. Shot clock at 5. Baseline drive. Foster cut off. They're going to have to put this up. They're not going to get it off. And there's the 4th turnover of the half for Xavier.
I just thought Xavier never really understood what Marquette was in. Looked like a zone coming off the inbounds and then matched up. But Marquette flying around there. That's what they do best. They are so good when you're trying to move the basketball. They're flying around. Disadvantaged basketball, not an easy thing to play against the Golden Eagles.
Never easy to score on Shaka Smart's crew. Ross lost it going up. Ryan Conwell leads the charge. And he has nowhere to go with it. Gives it up to Maddox.
Good jump stop, though. It's not there. Bring this thing back out. Run your offense.
You mentioned how hard it is to penetrate against this defense, but they're able to do it there on the baseline. Cam Fletcher, Rob, Florida State transfer, hasn't played much, but maybe he can give him a spark.
Dealt with some injuries himself. He is an athlete, but a bad gamble there by Chase Ross. He whiffs on the steal and just gives up the dribble drive.
And how about that? What a finish by Stevie Mitchell.
Stevie Mitchell wins you games. He just, whether it's scoring, defending, the offensive rebounding this year, he does a little bit of everything to help you win.
There you go again. They just cut off that dribble penetration.
Look at the Ross gamble. It's been everything is out on the perimeter.
There's a perimeter jumper. In and out for Conwell. Almost a travel by Ross, and then he threw it away. Maddox extra pass to Foster. Every rebound is a battle. And it belongs to Marquette.
But I love what Dante Maddox Jr. did right there. Extra pass for a wide open shot. Flies in there for the offensive rebound. Xavier doesn't get a bucket on that possession, but Sean Miller is going to like the effort.
And they're going to need the effort, especially on the glass. That is an area without Fremantle where Sean Miller's a little worried about his ball club. Cam Jones, he hasn't hit a shot, just one free throw, gets it up here. And Joplin with a right puts it home.
And that's where David Joplin has been at his best. He's shooting 53% from 2. Seen some maybe forced threes early in this game, but they try to pin him into that corner, and then it's just getting in the paint. Joplin using his size.
First lead for the 9th-ranked Golden Eagles. Xavier jumped out to the 6-0 advantage, and Marquette had been behind since. As the shot clock is down to 3. Wild and got it partially blocked off the backboard
by David Joplin there over the top.
Also had McKnight hobbling a little bit as he comes back on defense here.
That fake dribble handoff again. Man, Royce Parham. Oh, they called a travel. I thought maybe they were going to get a foul.
Good early action. A battle between Marquette and Xavier on a Saturday in the Big East in Cincinnati. Ranked Marquette up by 1 here at the Cintas Center. Let's go inside Shaka Smart's huddle.
Good job on the bounces. Make sure we violent bounce, because when we come off and they roll, we got to get to that. Yeah. Active hands.
Well, so far, the defense by Marquette, whether it's dribble handoffs or pick and roll, they've kept the Musketeers on the perimeter, haven't given up much dribble penetration, and you see the numbers there. Turnover is the name of the game. Marquette's been as good as just about anybody in the country at forcing turnovers.
Whereas for Shaka Smart, 6 years at VCU, they had Havoc, known for his defense. That's where he announced his presence, went to a Final Four. 6 years at Texas, and Rob, when Marquette was able to get him, just remember thinking that's a home run hire.
No
And
question.
it certainly
Well,
has
and
been.
the fit, you know, just the fit between Marquette University and Shaka Smart, and the job that he's done, the guys that he's recruited have really fit him and his style. I think he's done such a good job in Milwaukee.
And that's the thing. You mentioned recruiting. They don't have any transfers. They haven't taken a D1 transfer in 3 years.
It's an old school approach, but it's about development, it's about relationships, and not that the other way is the wrong way. You know, it's about what fits you, and that's what fits Shaka Smart.
And it's working well. Hunter had the first 4 points of the game, but he's been quiet since.
Good look there. Slipped that thing to the rim.
Inside Mitchell. Swain just came over and tomahawked it, but it will stay on this end.
Jalen Swain so far defensively has done the job on Cam Jones. Jones has been quiet, 0 for 4 from the field, and then here is a help defender comes over and just volleyball spikes that thing with 2 hands.
Big East all-freshman team last year, now very talented sophomore Swain. Gold in the corner. Offensive rebound. Joplin powers it back up.
Well, no block out there, and David Joplin flying in. It's going to be fun to watch Cam Jones at the next level, because that pass he threw right there can make him a lot of money.
Yeah, that's the other thing. He doesn't just score. He dishes it out as well. Hunter trying to attack Gold. Kicks it out. Here is Swain. David Swain in the lane with a left. Down to the deck goes Jones. A lot of bodies hitting the floor. Through all of that, McKnight is going to get to the foul line.
That's the type of effort that we saw Xavier give on Wednesday in stores. Just flying around, multiple efforts. You're undersized on the floor, but you're getting to the offensive glass. I'd like to see Dalen Swain with his size at 6'8" to go up a little bit stronger than that. But what a play from Davion McKnight flying in there and getting to the foul line.
McKnight, the fifth-year senior from Shelbyville, Kentucky, outside of Louisville. Preseason second-team All-Big East. He was a great player at Western Kentucky for 3 years.
And I thought it was fun. We talked to Shaka Smart before the game here this morning, and he mentioned just last year showing the guys tape of Davion McKnight, even on made baskets, the tempo and the pace that he's playing with. He's the head of the snake for a team that really wants to get out and run in Xavier.
Jones still looking for his first field goal. Joplin, too much.
Think about this, Brandon. Cam Jones in 2 games last year averaged 32 and 5 against Xavier.
Just the 1 free throw. Are they doing a good job on him defensively?
Yeah, no, I think with Swain, there's real length on him. They've contested his shots. Look at that. They're running them off plays. They've done a good job on Jones.
Is this going to be a foul or a tie-up? It's going to be a foul on the floor. It's going to be the first against Dalen Swain. Bring up a good point. You think about the length. It does seem to be disrupting Cam Jones a little bit.
Swain is a very good defensive player. He's a great cutter. He can get at the offensive glass. I think the last piece for him to unlock is the perimeter jump shot. And certainly continuing to add weight and strength in the weight room. You know, he's done a good job, added 20 pounds this offseason, but he could still add another 20.
Right now, he's holding this man to just 1 point, his jersey number. See if Jones can get going here. Right on cue.
And I thought Thad Matta's quote about Cam Jones after the Butler game so appropriate. He just never gives up on his dribble. He's probing and probing and probing, and it's always to that left hand. And you know it. The scouting report says it, but it's easier said than done to take it away.
Yeah, they still can't stop it. No, slipping McKnight keeps the dribble. A great block at the rim, though. That leads to a 2-on-1. And now Jones with 4 straight points, and this is now an 18-6 Marquette run, and Sean Miller has seen enough.
Well, it looks like it's going to be an easy bucket for Marcus Foster off this back cut, but what a play by Joplin to never give up on it, sends it the other way, and Marquette taking advantage. The extra pass here, you get it out in transition, and Cam Jones knows exactly what to do with it.
So good on defense, so good at running the break, and I mentioned the 18-6 run, so all of a sudden from down 6 to up 6 here over the last 8 minutes of play. And they can hit you in a hurry.
They really can. We talked Jones struggles, those have gone away quickly. He's now got 5 points. And on the other side for Xavier, Ryan Conwell, no points, 0 for 4 from the field. Xavier doesn't have a field goal in over 4 minutes.
Xavier also hasn't shot it great from deep, 3 for 11.
I think with no Fremantle, they're going to have to depend on the three-point line. They made 13 against UConn.
Now, if you miss that game, Xavier at UConn Wednesday, that was high-level basketball. The Huskies did pull it out in overtime. Marquette coming off the win Wednesday to open Big East play against Butler, 80-70.
Marquette zoning up here. Looks like they're going to match him man-to-man.
Good tap three. There we go. It's Marquette with another steal. Mitchell down the lane, but he has it blocked. That was Conwell disrupting. Stop and pop for Maddox. A long rebound, a goal. Trey Norman had it knocked free. They're going to say it went off his knee, so Xavier will get it back.
I'm okay with the Dante Maddox 3. Knocked down 5 of them against UConn. No one ever stopped the ball. That was a good look from 3 for him, but somebody's got to step up to the plate and make one here.
Well, they haven't had a field goal in 5 minutes, Xavier. Conwell, certainly a capable scorer. That one, though, bounces off.
Ben Gold is really guarding, especially guards on the perimeter, moving his feet and forcing a tough one.
Pass knocked out. And Ben Gold, a guy, a junior who came in, was really thought of more of a stretch 4 who could pull you out and shoot it, but his defense is vastly improved.
No question. And I think he gives Marquette some real versatility, especially in pick and roll. He can hard hedge, he can switch if you need to, he'll push up, he can guard the ball screen in a number of ways.
He's from New Zealand. He grew up playing backyard basketball with his 2 older brothers, Thomas and Sam, and his dad, Rob, played pro ball in New Zealand, so it's a big-time basketball family. That is, I'm not a Kiwi, Rob. I'm a Hoosier.
Outside of that.
I do like Kiwis, both the fruit and the people. Here's a 4-on-3. Conwell slips it inside.
He's got to finish that. He's got to go up stronger.
Look at Cam Jones. Knocked out. It'll stay with Xavier. Every time you look up, Marquette players are on the deck going after the loose ball. And they lead by 6.
Tries to stay undefeated, and the 11th-ranked UConn aims for a 6th straight win. Danny Hurley and the crew have turned things around. Brandon and Robbie, we'll see you at the half.
Yeah, they certainly have. After that trip to Maui, UConn has righted the ship. Meanwhile, you look around the Big East, edge of 4, St. John's buzzer beater yesterday against Providence, and then Eric Dixon, not only the top scorer in the Big East, Robbie, top scorer in the country.
You know, it was interesting. I was at Villanova earlier in the week, and to kind of hear about how in high school, big-time scorer, 2,000-plus point guy, certainly came into a situation at Villanova. They go to the Final Four his sophomore year, didn't need him to score like that. Last year was a good scorer. Now he's an elite scorer. And just to see the mentality kind of come back, man, he's getting 20 every night.
And Xavier could use any scoring right now. You saw that note, 0 for their last 10.
Well, Dalen Swain has had some opportunities at the basket. With no Fremantle, it's going to be, you need to capitalize, whether it's dribble drives with your guards or Dalen Swain getting there. He's got to finish strong. That frame at 6'8", he's kind of wished a couple of those up there and not been able to convert.
10 to shoot. Here's Ryan Conwell giving it off to Swain.
I get something going to the basket. You finally do, but it's a contested mid-range. That's just better offense by Davion McKnight.
It was a more than 6-minute drought without a field goal, but that stops with that McKnight mid-range jumper. Gold. He hit one earlier, and now he's got 2 on the afternoon.
And that's just got to be a switch between Dante Maddox and Ryan Conwell. Those 2 players come together. You know Ben Gold, 77% of his shots on the year are coming from 3. Have to be hooked up and have to communicate better.
Gold backed up a very good big in Oso Iguodala the last couple years. He's in the NBA now, so it's Gold's time to shine. There's a little bump and a foul inside on Cam Jones, his first.
But Brandon, that's the progression at Marquette. You play as a guy that's going to back up a very good player. You develop, and then when your time comes, your number is called and you're ready to go.
And that's why you see they've got the seniors. They've got a couple of sophomores to get in there in Lowry and Norman. And then you've got the freshmen. They've kind of got guys in every class that are contributing. But their seniors are their leaders, including that guy who just came back in, Stevie Mitchell, one of the best defenders in the conference.
Played through a bunch of injuries, hasn't practiced a bunch, is dealing with some tendonitis and those Achilles tendons. But you wouldn't know it, man. He is a gamer.
Shaka called him one of the toughest he's ever coached. There's a Swain bucket at the ring.
Also some dribble penetration. McKnight forcing the help and dishing it off.
So Xavier starting to get a little rhythm back offensively. Ross, the junior from Dallas, Texas, and he dragged that pivot foot. Marquette last game against Butler, they had 2 turnovers the entire game. It was their fewest since 2011. But here in the first half, they already have 6.
You combine the 2 turnovers with the 20 offensive rebounds, and that math equation leads to 28 more field goal attempts than what Butler got.
You're going to win a lot of games with those numbers.
How about the 20 offensive rebounds being most in the Shaka era? That's an impressive number there. And it's not like they're the biggest team. You see like a team that's Texas A&M do that, and you're like, well, they've got athletes, they've got size. Marquette's certainly athletic, but they're not the biggest bunch.
A lot of it is just heart. They just take on, as you said, the DNA of their head coach.
We've seen a lot of zones from Marquette here in this first half.
There's a turnover by Xavier, and then they get it right back and then lose it again. But through all of that, there is a foul.
First down. That was very football-esque right there.
Well, fitting with a college football playoff going on.
And Chase Ross making a play, and then you just lose the basketball, and Jerome Hunter gets wiped out.
It's Ross who picked up the foul, and that is his second, so he will take a seat.
Chase Ross, another guy that the development, going from 6 points a game last year to 11. Top 2 or 3 in the Big East in steals. A guy that's just been so active, flies around like a free safety.
It's so impressive what Shaka Smart has done with getting these guys better each and every year. And here they are again, a top 10 team, a 10-2 record. Conwell, he'll get to the line. If that's on Cam Jones, and I believe it is, yes, that's his second.
Remember the Dayton game, how quickly that flipped when Cam Jones picked up his 3rd in the second half. He's just a guy that cannot afford to get in foul trouble, because Marquette, when he's on the floor versus when he's on the bench, is a totally different group.
Well, they actually changed that. They called it on Ben Gold. So still just 1 on Cam Jones.
And my play-by-play guy led me astray.
Actually, your official out there led you astray, Rob. I'd take an apology in the form of a holiday fruitcake.
Okay, I'll send that to your address.
Thank you. 5-point game here. Xavier got off to the hot start, but Marquette has really stymied them since. I thought it'd be a higher scoring first half.
It's been more of a defensive battle here.
And Jerome Hunter reaching over, picking up his first. Xavier puts up over 80 points a game, and so does Marquette, but so far each team sub 30.
It's been played in the half court too. Both these teams, Xavier, one of the elite fast break teams in college basketball, and Marquette, a team that loves to play fast as well.
Cam Jones with that patented spin move, everything but the finish.
He's been good on the year at the rim. He's shooting 70% from the field at the basket. I don't see him miss too many like that very often.
We're inside of a minute. Hunter, power dribble, fading. They cannot get the friendly home bounce at the Cintas Center.
Fading, the key word there. That's got to be one where you get to the defender's chest and just go straight up with it.
Gold with a kick up top. Jones will take that all day. Whoa, somebody opened the barn door. You don't see him miss like that too often. Swain splits. Can't score it.
Swain has had opportunities at the rim, and he's fading away a bunch too.
He has 5 points so far, and now Marquette can hold here for the final shot. Cam Jones, the go-to offensive leader of this team. He's going to put it up here. Just got it off and doesn't go. But a very defensive-focused first half, Rob, has Marquette leading by a handful.
Some turnovers here for Marquette over the last 5 minutes, and Xavier 2 of their last 14. Some real scoring drought for both these teams. You have to think some adjustments offensively coming at the half.
All right, we will get you to our guys out in Los Angeles for the Jeep halftime report after this. Mike Hill, Casey Jacobson on the other side. At the Cintas Center at the break, it's Marquette, 9th-ranked team in the land, by 5 over the Xavier Musketeers. First week of Big East play, Marquette by 5 at intermission. Stat comparison here, sponsored by Jeep. There's only one. Neither team shooting it very well, and both teams, as we talked about, averaging over 80 points a game coming in, but really the defense has been the story.
Yeah, both teams under 38% from the field. The game's been played in the half court. Xavier 0 fast break points for a team that averages 19 a game. Marquette 7 turnovers. They only average 9 a game on the season, so some uncharacteristic play and certainly a defensive battle in that first half.
Well, let's transition into our By the Numbers, sponsored by AT&T Business. Next level moments need the next level network. AT&T Business. Marquette, few more turnovers than normal. Cam Jones held in check. And Ryan Conwell, 17 a game to lead the team and scoreless.
Yeah, if Ryan Conwell's not scoring, it's going to be really hard for Xavier to win with the reality that Zach Fremantle is out for the foreseeable future. But both these guys, top 5 in the league in scoring, and it's just been tough sledding for those guys this afternoon.
After this game, both teams get the holiday break off and resume play on New Year's Eve. It seems like for Xavier, you lose this, that could be a long Christmas break because you would have lost 5 of 7.
And you know what? Nobody wants to lose the game before Christmas break because it just changes the dynamic of your holiday. So certainly a big 20 minutes and getting off to a good start in this league so important. You know, for Marquette, you've got a game at Providence Tuesday, and for Xavier, you got Seton Hall coming here. So they come fast and furious.
It has been a tough stretch for Xavier. 3 ranked opponents in 7 days. Lost to Cincinnati, lost to UConn, and now here against number 9 Marquette.
Let's see if they can get some for Ryan Conwell here early. Spark him and get him going because they need him to be a factor on the offensive end.
Gives it up there to Swain. Davion McKnight. Drive and dish. Foster hits the corner 3.
Joplin, as that ball's coming to you, you got to start getting back. Marcus Foster, I said it in the first half, 47% from 3. A little late on the closeout. Foster pays it off.
And an open look on the other side, but this one no good for Ross. And it's Conwell who secures the rebound.
Chase Ross has gone cold from the three-point line the last 4 games. Now 3 of his last 14.
This is Conwell. Still scoreless.
But Davion McKnight passed up an open shot for a semi-contested one for Ryan Conwell.
And McKnight, a very good three-point shooter. Stevie Mitchell lost his footing.
That's a tough call to David Swain there.
And bailed out a bit. That's the second foul today on Swain.
Stevie Mitchell just nowhere to go. Here's that Marcus Foster 3. David Joplin stopping the basketball. And that strong side corner help is a really tough guard. And I think the crowd just saw the replay and they had the same thoughts that we did. Mitchell on the spin. You got Dalen Swain. Yeah, that's a tough one.
Just two. Neither team in foul trouble. That's the good news right now. Jones gets inside and finishes.
He is so good. He loves to spin to his left, but he can give you that half spin as well, where it's kind of a left jump hook. There's a reason that Cam Jones leads this league in points in the paint. He can really score inside.
Little nickel dimer on the other end.
You gonna pay Raph for that?
Yeah, it's on lease. Raph said whenever you need it.
I'm going to ask him if he gave you permission.
Go ahead, you call him after the game.
There's that half spin move, and you got the left hook. Cam Jones is getting to that left hand.
You can't do onions, though. That's trademark.
Why don't you just bust it out here?
There's a third foul on Chase Ross, so I mentioned nobody in foul trouble, but now somebody is. On the side of Marquette, Ross goes to the bench. Davion McKnight so good off the bounce. Well, first half, even though there wasn't much scoring, there weren't a lot of fouls and not many free throws, but now the first 2 minutes of the second half's a foul fest.
Davion McKnight showing off his ability to operate in tight quarters. That handle, pretty impressive.
And there's another foul.
Jeez.
Joplin just a little out of control, and he picks up his first.
There's got to be an awareness for Xavier. Anytime you inbound the ball, and really anytime you're in the half court, that run and jump can come at you.
Can they get this guy going? Conwell, leading scorer at 17 a game. Still hasn't scored today. Thought about a deep three. He'll drive it on Jones, but he's covered up. That's through the hands of McKnight. And out of bounds for a turnover.
I think Ryan Conwell, though, has to be ready to shoot that. There was a flare screen set from him. It would have been deep, but he certainly got the range. I just didn't think he was ready to shoot. And as that shot clock's winding down, you've got to find some offense. But Ryan Conwell, you got to be locked and loaded.
And folks, with Conwell, he's top 10 in the country in three-pointers made, and he hasn't hit a shot here today. Stevie Mitchell off the bounce, taking it right at Swain, and then Swain gets it. He leads the charge. 4 on 3. Xavier with numbers. Swain does it himself.
A good, strong take there. Dalen Swain getting a stop on one end. Good defense, just running out, and a fast break opportunity for Xavier finally.
And a little energy here inside the Cintas Center. Trey Norman spinning. Caught up somehow off the window.
I think Marquette's as good as just about anybody in the country at jump stopping. And there, Trey Norman coming to a stop, pivoting, and just finding a way at the rim.
Marquette back up 4. Xavier had the lead early in this game, but then Marquette went on a run, and they've kind of had control since. Hunter has a foul in the act of shooting.
Well, Dalen Swain containing the bounce, contesting this shot, defensive rebound, and taking it 94 feet. Xavier's first fast break bucket of the ball game. Compliments of a guy that really struggled to finish at the rim in the first half. Here's Trey Norman. Jump stop, come to a place, pivot around, find your way to the rim and score.
Only 6 free throws between the two teams in the first half. Here's our first free throws of the second half. Coming from Jerome Hunter, who I mentioned will turn 25 tomorrow. 3 years at Indiana, now his 4th year at Xavier, but he lost 2 full seasons due to health issues, including the scary one last year where he had ultimately what was deemed as a heart attack.
Yeah. Well, Xavier's got to be due for a run of good health. They have been so snake bit.
Between Hunter and Fremantle these last 2 years, you mentioned Traore, and it has been a string of bad things happening to Xavier as far as health is concerned.
That's illegal.
It is. We're going the other way. It feels so, Rob, with teams sometimes with those injuries when it rains it pours, and for Xavier in the last 15 months it's been boring.
It's been a variety. I mean, with Fremantle you had the foot, now you've got a knee injury. Jerome Hunter, you've got an Achilles, you've got the heart issue. It's not like it's been one thing where you can zero in and say, all right, are we doing something that's leading to some of these issues? It's been a pretty good variety for Xavier.
Marquette's been able to stay relatively healthy outside of Sean Jones, one of their veteran guards. Pretty nice finish there by David Joplin.
When he gets to the rim, good things happen. With his size, man, he can get going downhill. Good dribble drive down the lane line.
There's a bump and a foul, and again, same thing. And we'll head the other way. That time it's on John Hughley. Points in the paint, though. Marquette right now doubling up Xavier 20-10 after that last bucket by Joplin.
Think about the lack of rim protection for Xavier. UConn took major advantage with Terrace Reed, and I think that's certainly going to be something to watch for going forward.
Mitchell covered up. Joplin keeping the dribble alive, but I think he might have stepped on the end line. Yes, he did. We got a timeout on the floor. Golden Eagles by 5. Number 9 team on the road trying to start 2-0 in conference play. How cute is she? Oh, I love when the kids have the headphones at the game too.
Yeah, you gotta take care of those hearing.
I know back in your day you had the tape player with the yellow.
Where do you go with this?
I know how things were back in the day for you in Valparaiso, Indiana.
Now, you mentioned that Christmas is right around the corner, but you're wearing the Gucci spring collection
that's
today.
Enough.
So
that's enough.
I don't know about you.
Sean Miller's got the nice quarter zip collection over there.
Yes. See
if his Musketeers can kind of break out of this offensive slump. Just 4-14 from long range. Such a good three-point shooting team normally.
Look at the way Marquette, though, chases these Xavier guards. If one plays for Conwell, that time it's for Dante Maddox. There's just nothing off the ball.
Shot clock, we've seen this so much. Getting down inside 5 seconds. Maddox tapped out, and it's taken by Norman.
Yeah, really good defensive possession there. Marquette given multiple efforts and forcing a contested shot by Dante Maddox.
Cam Jones skips across to Joplin. An assist for Jones and a potential 4-point play here for David Joplin.
But the creation by Cam Jones is high-level stuff here. This hook pass is on time. It's on target. David Joplin, 29% from 3 on the year, struggling with his shot. Last 2 seasons shot 37 for this guy, but that's a great look. That helped defense taking away the roll, so the skip pass is there on the backside.
Over 6 assists a game for Cam Jones, and a guy, as we said, that just does a little bit of everything. He leads the team in scoring and assists. He's second in rebounding. Had a triple-double earlier this year in that game against Purdue. 3 triple-doubles in Marquette's history, one of them belonging to a man named D. Wade.
Pretty good company.
And that was in the Elite 8 of the tournament back in '03, where they went to the Final Four. You remember who won it that year, right?
Who?
Carmelo Anthony at Syracuse won the title.
I thought it had some connection.
Gosh, I thought you were a basketball historian, Rob. Foster from the wing. Xavier needed that. After Marquette opened up the largest lead of the game, Xavier gets it back to 6.
They got the matchup here with Hughley. We'll see what Cam Jones can do with it. Pretty good contest, but Stevie Mitchell, man, winning plays. And for a guy that's only listed at 6'3", he finds himself at 7th in the Big East in offensive rebounds per game.
A lot of heart and soul inside that kid, Shaka Smart says about Stevie Mitchell. So the lead back to 8, and here's Stevie Mitchell again. Body control, drawing the foul. Big time contact, but everybody appears to be okay.
And those 2 possessions sum up just what Stevie Mitchell brings to this Marquette team. The Marquette bench asking for that play to maybe be looked at. There was plenty of contact. I guess there could potentially be a question of whether Marcus Foster made a play on the ball. But just reading that, you turn your back, Stevie Mitchell's coming to get it from you. And Foster there, I think it's a hard foul. He was never going to let him get that thing to the rim for an and one, but I think it's the right call to not go review that one.
And now Stevie Mitchell, who's been top 5 in the Big East in steals for 3 consecutive years. That's how good this guy is on the defensive end.
We know what his problem has been is that Ryan Kalkbrenner has been in the league at the same time. he could easily have been a guy that has a defensive player of the year in this league next to his name. And the shame is that there's no all-defensive team, you know, like so he doesn't get any of that recognition, which he's totally deserved and earned.
And Kalkbrenner at Creighton has won 3 straight, could win 4 straight Defensive Player of the Year awards this season. And you talk about the conversation for Conference Player of the Year. Certainly Kalkbrenner will be in the mix, Dixon, and then Cam Jones.
Absolutely.
Some high-level talent in the Big East.
This is a big couple possessions here for Xavier. This game's starting to slip away a little bit. He's got to find some rhythm offensively, and I think Ryan Conwell's got to be a part of that.
Here he is. Instead, it's Foster and finishing.
Oh, what a finish right there. Joplin comes over, goes vertical. Marcus Foster above everybody else.
That gets it back to 8. Foster now with 11. Joplin attacks Hunter. He went right by him.
But John Hughley has got to be aware. Dribble handoff. He's guarding Trey Norman, who's 2 of 12 from 3 on the year. You got to be playing like a safety and give some help.
Well, there's Conwell, another miss, and you saw him look up at the ceiling. Just kind of frustrated right now is Ryan Conwell.
Looks like he's kind of grabbing his wrist, too.
Jones, little pirouette.
That is pretty right there. Under control, footwork on display. Cam Jones, a bucket getter.
And Marquette, their largest lead of the afternoon. It is 12 with 12:28 to play, and Sean Miller's going to take a timeout.
Well, this Marquette offense finding the rhythm, finding the flow. Cam Jones has it going here in this second half. Getting to the rim. Jump stop under control. Look at that move right there. Left hand all day long.
Playing a star-studded showdown. Juju Watkins, USC, Paige Beckers, UConn top 10 battle. Tipping off at 8 Eastern on Fox. Speaking of star-studded, Jason Benetti, Sarah Kustok, Allison Williams on the call. I think Benetti's in the Ritz right now in his terry cloth robe, just sipping coffee with 2 fingers, getting ready for that.
If he learned from you, probably.
Oh, he's the best. That's going to be a lot of fun tonight, especially with those 3 on the call. So tune in. Here, you got a Xavier team that now you feel, Rob, they're a little bit on the ropes.
Totally. And just the job that Marquette has done in this second half. The Golden Eagles offense coming alive, and this is certainly a time where Ryan Conwell is going to have to find his offense. He's not even in the game right now, but man, you're just not going to win if he's not a factor. Marquette out of these timeouts has gone to a lot of this zone.
Right, though, with Conwell, it is hard to believe that he has 0 of 7 from the floor. Inside, there's a block from behind. Pretty good defense by Parham. It'll stay with Xavier 10 to shoot.
That's the 3rd or 4th time today that Dalen Swain has had an opportunity around the rim. And it's not like we've got a 7-footer out here who's contesting shots. Both teams pretty small. He just leaks behind that zone. But this has got to be a bucket because he's a great athlete. He's got great length. You've got to find a way to put that thing in the basket, especially when you're struggling to score.
As an offensive player playing against Marquette would feel like a root tonight.
Yeah, no question.
They're just everywhere. Foster. Nothing is easy, but he will get to the line.
Marcus Foster has been Xavier's best offensive player today. It's a guy that, kind of like Davion McKnight, has been up and down with his offense over the last 4. You know, 15 against Connecticut, 6 against Cincinnati, 18 against Morgan State, didn't score against TCU. Just not a consistent presence for a guy that is a very good player, transfer from Furman, but I think for a lot of these transfers, and Xavier is heavily built on them, it's just taken some time for some teams to acclimate and find their way.
It's tough enough, Rob, I think, for one player, but when you're like Xavier, you bring in 7 players from the portal. For those guys all to get to know each other and gel as a unit, that's got to be tough on a head coach.
And I think we've seen multiple teams across the country that have had some high expectations, were dependent on the portal, and losing a guy like Zach Freeman. So, I mean, he's playing at an all-conference level. That kind of changes the game here. But it certainly is an adjustment period. Now Xavier trying to mix and match with some zone defense.
That defense looked a little confused, and it leads to a Joplin triple.
Well, they overload that zone, and they get Joplin in the corner. How good has David Joplin been in this second half? He's been on fire.
And he now has him at a 13-point lead. Joplin's at a dozen himself. Tough contested shot by Foster. And look who's on the deck. It's Owens. And a tie-up will give it to Marquette when we get back to Cincinnati.
This Marquette offense goes to another level if David Joplin can find his perimeter jumper. Last 2 seasons, 37% from 3. Has struggled a little bit early, but against the zone defense, locked and loaded from
Marquette by 13, and in this second half, their offense has been incredibly efficient.
Well, they found a real rhythm here. David Joplin has been terrific. 11 points here in this second half. He's 4 of 4 from the field, has made both of his 3-point attempts. Cam Jones has gotten it going a little bit. Marquette 8 of 12 from the field. It's been an impressive second half, and Xavier right now just trying to stop the bleeding.
8 of 12 from the floor, 12 points in the paint. These are all just the second half, and yeah, Joplin with 11 of them.
On the flip side, Brandon, Marcus Foster has been all of the offense for Xavier. He's got 10 of their 13 in the second half. I know we've talked about it, but Ryan Conwell, if he doesn't score, they can't win.
They're going to need him and more to erase this 13-point deficit. Maybe it'll be Mariah Carey, who was just playing over the loudspeaker, to give him a little boost.
Inspire them. I mean, Davion McKnight has not attempted a shot in the second half.
And Conwell still on the bench over there. It's an uncharacteristically quiet afternoon for their leading scorer. And Cam Jones hasn't scored a ton, but he's still left his mark on this game. Jones gets it back here. He will let it fly. In and out. Swain will take it the other direction. Dalen Swain all himself. And knocked out of bounds. Quick hands by Demarius Owens.
They called a foul.
Oh, they did. And for Owens, that's his second.
Swain has been a guy who's taken defensive rebounds and just gone with it. Boy, that's really fortunate for Xavier. That is all ball.
Xavier will take every break they can get right now, as Swain, the sophomore from Columbus, will go to the line. Grew up an Ohio State fan. They offered him, so did Marquette, but Swain felt that Xavier was the better fit. Sean Miller said that he's really transformed his body. Swain got here last year 180 pounds. He's now up to 220. A lot of time in the weight room.
He looks like he has more than he can accomplish there, right? Like, he's still pretty skinny. Has a good frame.
Yeah, he's got that long, wiry build.
Yeah, no doubt.
And he gets Xavier within 11 as we are inside of 11 minutes remaining. Jones stops, spins. I mean, he's as good at that as anybody in the country.
Question. It's the pace of it. It's you know it's coming, and still you can't stop it. Marquette with the spacing, though. He had the whole side to play with there.
If anybody learns how to stop it, let the other teams know, because nobody's figured it out.
Lefties, though, it's a weird thing.
And here's a steal by Zane Lowry, and he lays it in.
Zane Lowry saw that the whole way, like a defensive back reading a QB's eyes.
He was an all-state wide receiver back in his high school days in Missouri, so he knows how to intercept and grab and go the other way. There's a foul on Chase Ross.
Well, you will watch Cam Jones do this on repeat if you watch him play. I mean, it's jump stop under control, spin move, get to the left hand. Zane Lowry shooting through, double team on the ball. Lowry getting to the passing lane, getting to the body, and finishing that thing in transition.
The only thing that is not going Marquette's way right now is that Chase Ross just picked up his 4th foul, and he's going to the bench. But everything else is all about the Golden Eagles.
Points in the paint looming large. Marquette 30-12 over Xavier.
And you noted it. UConn had 50 points in the paint, now 30 for Marquette today without Zach Freemantle. It's going to be interesting to see how Sean Miller kind of adjusts that, Rob, moving forward after Christmas.
But it won't matter if your best players don't play like the best players. If Ryan Conwell doesn't score, Xavier's going to have a heck of a time winning some of these games. Dante Maddox gave you 22 at UConn, his Xavier career high. You look at his game today, he's got 3 points. So they're going to need these guards to be out here hooping all the time. And so far today, outside of Marcus Foster, it just hasn't been there.
Sean Miller is going to go ahead and take another timeout with 10:04 remaining. Well, it's a special day of football today on Fox. Catch the next chapter in a bitter historic rivalry. Russell Wilson and the Steelers taking on Lamar Jackson and the Ravens. It all kicks off today, 4 Eastern here on Fox. You got hoops, you got the college football playoff, you got NFL. A lot going on today.
Yeah, no doubt. Good time in sports. Everybody talks about the spring. You get the tournament, and you get NBA playoffs, NHL playoffs, Masters. But this is now with the college football playoff. This kind of time of year gets thrown into that mix for maybe the best time of year.
And for college hoops, I mentioned for the Big East first week of conference play, everything just sort of ratchets up a little bit.
Yeah, no question. The games in this league, so competitive, so much on the line. This is a great basketball conference. You get to see quality coaches, great players, high-level stuff.
And there are positives certainly to the bigger conferences that have the 15, 16, 18 teams, but 11 teams, a balanced conference schedule. Oh, Jones. How about that?
Well, a good ball fake, but for Xavier, somebody's got to stop the basketball. And to button up what you were just talking about, I don't love in the bigger conferences, though, unbalanced schedules are going to come into play. And I look back when I was playing in the Big Ten, you got almost everybody twice, and that's not the case anymore.
But it is in the Big East. Old school. McKnight with a mid-range jumper to get Xavier back within 13.
I just think Davion McKnight needs to take more than 4 shots, especially with the new reality of no Zach Freemantle. He needs to look more for his own.
That's a guy's second team all-conference in the preseason. Xavier basketball blocked out by Owens.
Communication, though, for Xavier got to be better. And you know that Ben Gold wants to pick and pop. If you're going to switch it, you got to switch it to take away his 3-point shot.
Ryan Conwell is on the floor right now, number 7, still scoreless. If they can draw something up for him here.
Marquette's defense has done a great job of keeping Xavier in the half court. There just haven't been opportunities to run for a team that averages 19 fast break points a game.
Here is Conwell, gives it up. This is Foster. Long rebound, Hunter taps it out to Conwell.
Look at the help that's built in there. Conwell's seeing a wall and then just throws it away.
Leaving it for Gold, and Gold knows what to do with it. That sequence right there is Marquette basketball in a nutshell.
Absolutely. Turn you over, get out, play with tempo, and Ben Gold's out there hanging on rims.
He's got 8. The lead is back to 15. McKnight to the corner. Foster, yes, and the foul.
That comes off of multiple paint touches. McKnight gets into the lane, swings it out. Marquette flying around defensively. Cam Jones, unselfish play, drops it off. Big fella's running the floor. Let him go up there and finish. Cam Jones dropping a dime. Ben Gold going up with the hammer. Marcus Foster, you get multiple dribble drives. He gets back into that painted area. It's been pretty good today. 15 points, 5 of 11 from the field.
You noted it, but he's kind of been that lone bright spot, trying to keep Xavier close here with the 9th-ranked team in the country.
This crowd is trying to give Xavier something here, but they've got to give their fans something to cheer about. Got to get some stops.
Xavier 7-0 in this building this season. Joplin, but Owens gets it. Shot clock didn't reset. It won't matter. 3-pointer by Ben Gold. He's got 11. Every every time you feel like Xavier may get a little something going, there's Marquette to take the hope away. Davion McKnight, blocking foul on Stevie Mitchell. And we've got a timeout with 7:25 remaining.
That Golden Eagles offense has heated up here in the second half. Second chance opportunity. Ben Gold shooting it so much better over these 9 games. Marquette 3 of 6 from 3 in the second half. They're getting it done in a lot of ways.
Points in the paint, plus 20 for Marquette. Certainly that's one of the big differences so far in this ballgame.
A great sign for Marquette that David Joplin making shots from the perimeter. He's really guarded this year. He's been good from inside the arc. Has had his struggles from 3. 29% from 3 on the year. That's not been the case today. And in this second half, he has been dynamite.
Went over 1,000 career points today to David Joplin. The senior from Milwaukee went to Brookfield Central High School, which is less than 15 miles from where Marquette plays their home games at Fiserv Forum. And he has turned in a heck of a career, as has this entire senior class. I mean, Rob, 2 seed in the last 2 NCAA tournaments. Their resume right now, if it ended today, I think they'd be a 2 seed again.
Yeah, and think about this group finally beating Wisconsin. I was surprised to see that they hadn't. You know, you think about with Kolek and Iguodaro and the guys that they've had on this team and in this program, and you match those guys with Cam Jones and Joplin, and I was just surprised. But they played their hearts out in that game. Really impressive win against their rival.
And those other wins we discussed at Maryland, against Purdue. If you win here today, if you're Marquette, you're 11-2, 2-0 in the Big East. I don't think Shaka Smart could have asked for much more at the beginning of the season.
Now, and losing at Iowa State, obviously they're one of the teams that could make a Final Four this season, and Dayton, a team that now finds themselves ranked in the top 25. A tough place to play.
Stevie Mitchell, spin cycle.
You get McKnight going so hard to that right side, and Stevie Mitchell with the understanding, I can put the brakes on, spin right back, and get whatever I want.
The senior from Reading, Pennsylvania, Stevie Mitchell, 8 points. He's dished in some great defense again today as well.
Xavier's got to find the middle of this zone.
There you go.
You do, and you get a wide open shot.
Man, Robbie, you're good at this basketball analyzing.
Just flash right in there, find an open space, and let it go.
But they have not been able to do that much.
No, it's just the zone and even the man-to-man has kept Xavier on the perimeter.
Tony Chiazza telling the Xavier bench to sit down. 6:35 to go here in the second half. Frustrating afternoon so far for the Musketeers. Still shooting. Maybe this will help them. Well, that gets them a little closer.
You don't see Cam Jones make mistakes like that all that often.
Every time something like that has happened today, Marquette has had an answer. And they've got an answer here.
But there's too many times where Xavier just miscommunications. And we've seen it for Ben Gold threes. There it's for a Joplin roll to the rim. That's got to be talked out, and it's just a switch. But nobody home, and Joplin uncontested to the basket.
And I'm not saying Xavier doesn't want this. Of course they do. But Marquette has just been the more energetic and enthusiastic team.
I think that's totally fair to say. Here's the Cam Jones turnover. Get Jerome Hunter out in the open floor. But nothing has really come easy for Xavier today. And the fast break points have been minimal.
And we talked about that at the beginning of the game. They really are built on those fast break points, over 19 of them a game, which is...
And they have 2 this afternoon.
Yeah, and they're top 5 in the country in that category. Also speaks to how good Marquette's
No
defense
question.
is.
No doubt about that. And Marquette has controlled the tempo of this game and made Xavier play in the half court.
So the key for Xavier is to continue to try to get that ball in the middle of the defense.
Well, if it's the zone, absolutely. You're going to have to find the middle. Marquette's done a good job mixing and matching, but there's a big hole around that Big East logo, and you just got to have multiple guys flash in there. Marquette going back to man-to-man. That's a foul.
Stevie Mitchell went running over Jerome Hunter.
Through Jerome Hunter.
Which isn't easy to do. Jerome Hunter's a big guy, 230 pounds. So 4 fouls for Stevie Mitchell and Chase Ross. And those are the 2 guys that lead this team in steals. So that's something to watch over the final 6 minutes. Also have Xavier in the double bonus the rest of the way. So Mitchell will sit with the 4 fouls, and Owens replaces him. Hunter gets both. Joplin down the lane, almost lost his dribble. Rebound to the corner, here comes Xavier. Foster. A bucket here, you get it down to single digits. Swain, foul.
Dylan Swain had that entire side, just a rip and go as the ball swings. Jerome Hunter did a nice job, though. He was posting Cam Jones, and that kept Jones from getting over to help. A little bit late to the party. All he could do was foul. There's Jones getting in your screen. That looked like it could have been a good, or it was a good amount of ball there.
Swain gets 2, though. He knocks down the first. He's got a dozen to go along with 8 rebounds. Talked about the importance of his rebounding in the absence of Zach Fremantle.
I think also, you talked about him gaining 20 pounds. Another 20, and you have to hope that he's flushing that play. He's athletic enough to do that type.
10,000 coming to their feet. Jones spinning. Jones. A foul before the kick out. So much fun to watch him operate and use that pivot foot.
It's just funny how lefties find a way to get to their left hand. And it's like, because defenders aren't used to seeing, you see so many right-handed players. I saw it with Shabazz Muhammad. He played at UCLA, played in the NBA for 7 or 8 years. He just got to his left hand. Even though the scouting report said this dude is doing it, it didn't matter.
16 fouls on Xavier, so free throws the rest of the way for both teams. Shot clock never started. And Brian O'Connell caught it, so he stops play here. They're going to have to go to the scores table, figure out the clock situation here with just over 5 minutes remaining. This is another one of those moments, though. Xavier's had a lot of them today where they get the crowd involved. Marquette snuffs out that momentum. See what they do here on this possession.
Who's been the answer for them has been Marcus Foster. I mean, he's really played an impressive game. 16 points, 5 of 11 from the field, has made 3 threes. Wouldn't be surprised to see them go to him. And outside of Foster, McKnight, 9 points, 3 of 5, and Conwell still hasn't scored. That's a shocking stat right there.
We discussed all the success of Marquette. Xavier, very good program, but last year under 500. First losing season since the mid-90s. Missed the tournament 5 of the last 6 years, and that's just something around here they're not used to.
No question. But the injuries have just stacked up. You know, this year's team, a lot of talent, and granted, you got to make that talent fit together. But you lose a player like Fremantle, and it's going to be really hard. Priori as well.
Set play for Jones. He missed it though. But how about Norman coming through to grab it.
That's one of the smallest players on the floor, flying in there and stealing a possession.
That may not seem like much, but that is a big play by Trey Norman. And then a foul on Maddox.
Norman's had his struggles this year. I thought in the first half he made some really nice passes to set guys up, but there's just no block out there. You turn and you go get the ball. Dante Maddox, that's got to be, I'm turning, I'm finding my man, I'm getting a body on him, and now I'm pursuing the basketball.
All of that leads to a 1-and-1 for Cam Jones, a senior from Memphis, but he missed the front end. So that door is slightly ajar here for Xavier. This would be big. Conwell finally found the bucket.
Foster made the play. You help off Conwell. Foster recognized it, swung the ball, and Conwell finally with the three.
A 7-0 run for the Musketeers. This feels like Cam Jones time. Well, he gives it up to Joplin. 5 to shoot. He'll pull. Long rebound, knocked out. It belongs to Xavier.
Maybe a bit of a settle there from Joplin. I know he's made some threes, but with his size and physicality, I'd like to have seen him put that thing on the floor. Finally, Ryan Conwell gets one up here, but Cam Jones, it's just a gamble you can't take. You stun it, Foster, you're leaving the best scorer on this team. You give him an open look, and he takes advantage.
Conwell coming off the 23 points at UConn. Here it's McKnight. Got it! Xavier's right back in it.
Where has this 9-0 run come from? What a play here. Davion McKnight getting downhill, loses his balance, gets some contact, and just like that, Sean Miller's ball club, Xavier right back in this thing. Don't go anywhere. 4-point game with 3 to play.
Marquette was up 15, but it's a 9-0 run for Xavier. This building is energized, and with 3:56 to play, Rob, we've got a ball game.
Well, it's been multiple guys, too, for Xavier who have made things happen. You find the middle of the zone, Jerome Hunter knocks it down. Lazy pass here, get out in the transition. Cam Jones with a bad gamble that leads to a Ryan Conwell 3. And it looked like this game was going to be a formality. But off the Davion McKnight and 1, it's anything but. And we've got ourselves a 4-point game.
And that 9-0 run has come quick over the last 2 minutes. And McKnight will have a chance to get this back to a 1-possession ball game. There was a stretch there where it looked like Xavier was sleepwalking a little bit, and Marquette might run away with this thing, but that's totally flipped.
Well, the biggest lead, Marquette led by 15 with 10:17 to go. I think that's probably the time that you're talking about. But nothing is easy in conference play. You know, these teams, I know we have so many transfers, but still, you have holdovers, you see certain groups. It's never easy to go on the road, whether it's the Big East, the Big 10, the Big 12, whatever league. And right now, Marquette needs an answer. This crowd getting involved.
Here's the offensive leader for Marquette, Cam Jones, but it rolls off on it.
Oh, got a good look. Physical drive. He knocked Jerome Hunter back, and that's a shot he normally makes.
Jones almost stole it. Xavier trying to add to what is right now a 10-0 run. Swain turns the corner. Downhill. Put back Hunter. 1-point game. Cam Jones spinning in the lane. McKnight got his hand on it. Xavier with a chance to take the lead. Blocked up by Joplin. What a play defensively.
Unbelievable to get right back in it. Marcus Foster kept it. I think that's the right play, but David Joplin out of nowhere.
The energy in this building has gone from 0 to 100, and we've got a thrilling finish coming your way here on Fox. Now Joplin on the offensive end. Crowd thought he traveled. He finds Gold, but Marquette has gone cold. Down the lane, Swain!
Just dunked the basketball. What a rebound.
There is Jerome Hunter, and folks, this run continues, and Xavier is back on top. First lead since it was 17-16, but Cam Jones snatches the lead back.
He just wheels and deals, and that's that half spin. He's really not spinning back to his left hand, but he's so good, even at the size he's at. He's undersized in that matchup, but he finds a way to his left.
That stops a 14-0 run for the moment. Swain has it swiped. Stevie Mitchell got in there.
Stevie Mitchell is just a winner, man. He's off the ball there, makes a play on it, and just forces an incredible turnover.
The guy that Shaka Smart calls the heart and soul of his defense, coming up with a big-time play. Joplin off the spin and the bounce.
We've talked a lot about Cam Jones on the spin. David Joplin loves to spin with his size as well. Good physical play, and what an answer from Marquette.
Big answer indeed. Final timeout taken by Sean Miller with 69 seconds to go. Ooh, everybody exhale.
Boy, no question about that. Here's Cam Jones getting back to the left hand. Stevie Mitchell off the basketball, just going and making a play on Dalen Swain, driving it. And then David Joplin driving this seam. Little slip by Jones. Use that spin, use your size. David Joplin making a play late.
Well, Marquette has won the last 4 in this series. It looked like they were going to extend it to 5 straight easily. Xavier goes on the 14-0 run, and now Marquette swinging a punch right back. All right, so Sean Miller takes his final time out here, Robbie. What's probably the message to the guys as far as what they want to do?
Well, you know, Marcus Foster has been so solid here in this second half and in this game. I think the good thing about this is for Sean Miller, you've got options. You have a guy in Ryan Conwell who has scored a lot this year, hasn't had a good game. But you've got McKnight, you've got Foster, you've got Conwell. We've seen Swain in the open floor. The thing is, though, you've got to get a shot here. Obviously, Marquette is going to pressure you. They could even trap you. You know, that run and jump is something that Shaka Smart is never afraid to pull out here. You've got to be ready for that. But you're putting the ball in the hands of your guards, and you're asking them to make a play.
Marquette 10-2, top 10 team in the country. Xavier reeling a little bit coming into today. Lost 4 of 6. Very tough defeat Wednesday at UConn in overtime, but they have fought their way back with 1:09 remaining. And Sean Miller knows his team certainly could use this marquee win here today heading into the holiday break.
I do want to see this ball, though, for Xavier move from side to side. Move that Marquette defense and then get to your action.
McKnight will set the table. Now he'll penetrate. Has it not free by Mitchell. Hunter picks it up, and it's Mitchell again.
That was not a great offensive possession there for Xavier.
But it was an unbelievable defensive effort by Stevie Mitchell.
No question.
He has been everywhere today. Now Jones in no rush. Gets to that left hand and makes it a 5-point game.
Marquette faced some real adversity, and what a counterpunch they've thrown back.
Inside reversal, good for Conwell. Back to 3 here. Shot clock is off. And there's the foul with 26.5 remaining.
That was well done by Xavier to get a quick basket. You had to go quickly. 26 on the clock now. Ryan Conwell getting to the rim. An opportunity for Marquette to close this thing out at the line with some foul shots.
And you look these last handful of possessions for Marquette, and Cam Jones has a couple of big buckets. No surprise. He just plays with such poise out there. Now he's got 15.
It's been both of their creators. It's been Cam Jones and it's been David Joplin. You've mixed that in with some Stevie Mitchell defensive plays as well, and that's how Marquette has come back from the brink.
Missing the front end, Ross. And now Xavier can tie it with a three. They have no timeouts here.
Well, too early to foul, you'd think. A lot of coaches don't like to do that unless they can call a timeout and set it up.
McKnight makes it a one-point game. The Red Sea parted. He got right to the rim. Everybody in this building is standing. Ross getting it into Jones, and they will foul him at the 10.8 mark.
That fake dribble handoff is so tough to guard. Lack of communication. You got two going with Dalen Swain, and McKnight gets all the way to the rim. You have to think for Marquette, if these two foul shots go down, you are now getting into that zone of where you could foul. If you believe in that, certainly you can do it, but it has to be talked about here. That's only happening with two made free throws.
Still a 1-and-1 situation, but Jones does hit the first. 75% foul shooter.
I would expect if this goes down, Shaka Smart will call a timeout to talk that over.
Still 2 remaining for Marquette. 3-point game. Yes, you're right. He will take one of those final 2. And now we get that cat and mouse game here down the stretch. But Cam Jones, one of the best players in the entire country, another solid game, especially here down the stretch.
Yeah, game's on the line. You want the ball in this guy's hands. He just gets to the paint. He's so crafty with how he wants to score. A variety of pivots. They're all getting back to that left hand. Everybody knows it, but good luck stopping it. Cam Jones, when his team needed him the most, he has come through for this group.
And oh yeah, he also has 7 assists. Big second half for Jones, and Marquette trying to hang on here and get to 2-0 in Big East play. So I called it a cat and mouse game, but I feel like you get in these situations in college basketball, we always have that same discussion. Okay, Marquette takes a timeout. How do you handle the fouling up 3?
I'm for it, but I also think that whatever your philosophy is, if you believe in it, then you should do it. If you don't believe in it, okay, then you're getting to stop. You're guarding the three-point line. I know what the numbers say, and it's that this really minimizes your opportunity to make a 3 and send this to overtime.
Xavier was able to force overtime at UConn. A couple of big shots late by Dante Maddox. And then they fell against the Huskies. We'll see what happens here with Sean Miller on his home court at the Cintas Center.
Xavier has been in a lot of close games, and you look at their 4 losses, some heartbreakers. They've made this one a game. You mentioned that they had a tough stretch there in the second half. Marquette pushed it to 15, but this would fall right alongside those other 4s. Another tough one if they don't pull this out.
The losses at TCU, at Cincy, at UConn, all by 5 points or less, and here they are down 3. Again, Xavier, no timeouts. Marquette, 1 left. Swain to inbound. Conwell gets to the wing. He's going to drive and lay it in, but now there's only 4.6 remaining.
Foul immediately unless you get a steal off this inbounds pass.
Chase Ross does get it into Jones, and Jones is fouled. Last time it was 1-1. It is double bonus now, but just 3.6 remaining for Xavier. Sean Miller without a timeout, trying to bark out some instructions to his crew. Oh, he missed the first. Well, Xavier, look, you practice these things all the time, right, Rob?
Absolutely. And this is where make or miss, you've got to go. Got to get down the floor. Going to put the ball in the hands of your best playmakers and let them make a play.
He does make the second, but Xavier's got an opportunity here. Conwell, such a great shooter. Did he get tripped? No whistle. They said play on. The horn sounds, and Marquette, the #9 team in the land, escapes Cincinnati with a history.
Well, Conwell went down. The question is, was that because of a defender tripping him, or did he lose his balance?
The celebration is on for Marquette. Here we go.
Oh, that's a foul, man. You can't just trip a player, whether it's accidental or intentional. And that's totally, he falls down because he trips over the foot of Chase Ross.
What a tough break for Xavier.
No question.
Could have had Conwell, a 77% foul shooter, going to the line for 2 shots. Instead, no whistle, and Marquette gets it done, 72-70. Big day on Fox, a lot going on, football, basketball, and what an appetizer to get the party started. Cam Jones, electric, 20 points, 8 assists. And 72-70 is your final. For Robbie Hummel, our producer Brian Colucci, our director Derek Manning, and our entire Fox Sports crew, Brandon Gaughan signing off, saying happy holidays and thanks for watching Fox College Hoops, Big East style from Cincinnati.